really starting to look like the tabloids want you to believe that Russell Brand is the new Jimmy Savile. So I want to talk about it. As most of us are aware, in the last few days, Russell Brand has been all over the tabloids. Their newest headline is pointing out that Russell Brand once did an interview with Jimmy Savile. And for context, here is that interview.
Nice to meet you one day, Mr. Jimmy Savile, just, you know.
If you've got a sister, you could meet me by bringing her along.
I mean, I haven't got any sisters, but...
I don't usually meet fellas, but if you've got a sister, that's okay.
I've got a personal assistant called Marsha, and part of her job description is that anyone I demand she greets, meets, massages, she has to do it. She's very attractive, Jimmy.
Well, that's a good start.
What kind of
start? You could send her along to do some research.
Would you like her to wear anything in particular, Sir Jimmy?
I'd actually prefer her to wear nothing.
Right. So you want Marsha, my assistant, to meet you naked? Okay. Well, that's not going to be a problem.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that, Jimmy. It's just
the last time I spoke like this was to Father Christmas.
Oh yeah, I never trusted those Father Christmases in Debenhams or other stores. They're available. Oh, I said stores instead of shops. I've been in America too long. I don't trust the Father Christmases you get these days, Jimmy. I think you. Perhaps you should be. I think you're. I've always thought of you as a sort of a Father Christmas figure. You know, solving problems.
And a drop in wages.
Jimmy, it's been divine of you to talk to me in this restaurant. Thank you very much. I wonder, would you pass on my best wishes to your beautiful dinner companion, and perhaps you'd consider coming on the show again in the future?
Who knows? I'm always available, and my beautiful dinner companion will have to remain secret because she is of outstanding beauty. And as such, if you saw her, you would lust after her.
Particularly if I saw a review, because that just heightens the sexuality of the situation. Thinking
No, I'm not into threesomes.
But Jimmy, there was a time when you were the defining voice of the BBC, and perhaps
I still am.
you are now, you are tonight. But you should be, as well as passing down information, you should be passing along other things. People could argue.
I've never passed anything in my life. I only take.
Jimmy Savile, thank you very much for your call. Hey, Jimmy, could we?
Honour and a pleasure. And in the words of Omar Khayyam. Oh.
Jimmy Savile there! My word!
As most people know, Jimmy Savile died in 2011, and in 2012, Accusations came out and people found out who he truly was. The media linking Russell Brand to Jimmy Savile makes it a lot easier to get everybody to hate him. Their interview was in 2007, so it's very unlikely that Russell Brand knew anything about the accusations against Jimmy Savile. There are, however, many occasions of people making jokes about Jimmy Savile and hinting to the real person he was way before the accusations were made public. Here are some clips to prove just this.
Yeah, Louise Carpenter from Shrewsbury says, "Dear Frank and David, my 8-year-old daughter loved the Jimmy Savile World Cup comment slot that you did at the beginning of the series. She keeps asking, what has happened to it? Will it be back?"
8-year-old girls love Jimmy Savile, though, don't they? And of course... Anyway, I won't go on.
Yeah. Yeah, he loves her slot. That's what I'm saying.
Hi.
Oh, here it is, the big day. You're going to be a top singer, and I'm going to be a top model. Oh, I'm so excited. I haven't been this excited since Jimmy Savile came to our open day at school and sat on my face.
Oh, God! We keep you up to date. The main story so far, Jimmy Savile drops dead at the Stoke Mandeville Boxing Day bash, but the patients are far from mourning.
The majority, if not all of them, are extremely relieved that he's now dead. Although I suspect that some of them will be sorry that he didn't suffer a great deal more.
And loads more people that will probably never ever find out the names of. So I'm not here making a video to get you to support Russell Brand. Everybody can make their own decisions. But I would like to show you something which I think is really interesting. Russell Brand was accused less than a week ago, and he has already lost monetization on his YouTube channel. This will include ad revenue as well as memberships. In YouTube's statement, they said if a creator's off-platform behaviour harms our users, employees or ecosystem, then we will take action. So while remembering that statement, I'd like to take you back to January 2018. Logan Paul is in Japan and he goes to the suicide forest where he decides to film and post a video of a person that has committed suicide. He received tons of backlash and was all over the news. And I know what you're thinking, why am I telling you this? It actually took over a month for YouTube to withdraw Logan Paul's monetization, even though he'd shown a dead body on his channel. This is not the only example of YouTube being slow to demonetize their creators. Well-known YouTubers James Charles and Colleen Ballinger have both been called out for grooming and having inappropriate conversations with children. All 3 of these creators have fully monetized accounts. So why, when so many famous YouTubers have been able to keep monetization, have they gone after Russell Brand with no proof in less than a week? The demonetization of Russell Brand's channel was already shocking, but I actually have an update that's happened today. We've now been told today that Dame Caroline Dinage has actually sent a letter to Twitter, TikTok and Rumble to ask if they are planning on demonetizing Russell Brand's channels. And here's a small clip of her talking about that.
Of course, this weekend we've seen some very serious and disturbing accusations about Russell Brand's behaviour, and we understand, of course, that the police are now looking into some of these allegations. As a first step, our committee have decided that we will today write to media outlets, including the BBC and Channel 4, to understand the actions that they're taking as we consider some of the issues around these allegations. They've been widely described by reporters in the press and on social media as an open secret, and quite often these secrets are shared between friends and colleagues just to keep each other safe. But my concern is when people in power are aware of rumours or stories yet don't act, then a culture is allowed to permeate.
This letter, which I will link below, has caused outrage, and not just with Russell supporters. Any government that is happy to take away a man's livelihood with no legal proof is not a government that we should want in power. And just to put things into perspective, this is my one last comparison. Prince Andrew suffered many allegations, and many women came forward and spoke to the police. However, it was not until 2022 that all of his media accounts were deleted, his Twitter, Instagram and YouTube. It seemed that the accounts were taken down by himself and not by the companies that run them, due to the fact that he lost his HRH title. So I'm quite puzzled as to why people haven't acted the same way to Prince Andrew as they have with Russell Brand. I don't recall the government ever sending a letter to Instagram, YouTube or Twitter to delete his account. As many of us are aware, the royals are untouchable. So even somebody that doesn't like Russell Brand must be able to appreciate the amount of red flags. It really does seem like somebody is trying to silence him, but I won't make my full decision until I've got the full story. The Russell Brand accusations are valid, and as a person that has experienced sexual assault, I will never ever tell somebody that they are wrong for telling the truth. However, the only way that we can find out if they are legally telling the truth is if everyone comes forward and speaks to the police. This way, the police and a judge can decide what should be the outcome, rather than the court of public opinion deciding, which is currently happening. If you got to this point in the video, I really appreciate you watching. I would love to hear what your opinion is in the comments, and I will be putting in some helplines for anybody that has ever suffered from sexual harassment or sexual abuse. I hope you can appreciate that this is not a video of me trying to say that Russell Brand is innocent. It's just that we all need to want a fair trial. My heart goes out to any victims, and I will see you all soon.